Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing tonight? My name is Matt Jarbo. Welcome back to Boulder Talk Radio, and it's currently like 11 p.m., 11:12 p.m. on the 16th of October, 2020. It's a little bit later than I wanted to go on tonight, unfortunately, because my job with the government came to an end. I now have to go back to what I was previously doing, which was making sure that amidst a global pandemic, people got their McDonald's. Right. So I was out there tonight doing food delivery. First time in like almost 3 months. And it was a little bit weird, a little bit rocky jumping back into it. A little bit of a odd feeling going back, and saying hi to the old gangs of the different restaurants that I would frequent, picking up people's food. And of course, just kind of missing the authoritative nature that comes with working for the United States Census. You may not think that there is, in fact, an authoritative nature of working for the census, but I like to fuck with people when I can. I like to mess with people when I can. And there's something about that job, and people have like 18 billion no trespassing signs on their property. They don't want you to be there. They've got gates that prevent entry. They want to be left alone. And then I come knocking on their door, legally being able to bypass all of that. And then they get real salty. They get real angry with me. They're like, what are you doing on my property? And I'm all like, here for the census. And they're like, I'll beat you with a stick. One guy actually threatened that. And I'm like, well, I'll be back tomorrow. And I did say that to him too. But then I went down the street. I talked to one of his neighbors, and the neighbor ratted him out. So it's all good. But that being said, I mean, like, when you do the food delivery, it's just show up, get the food, drop it off. I mean, the only good thing about tonight was I was able to catch up on some YouTube I was behind. And apparently there is some RV trip that's happening. I watched more than I probably should have of the live streams of a bunch of yokels in an RV praising Trump and getting ready to go to Vegas. All while the whole argument there is like, we're not going to sleep with any women on this trip. Just trad life. Where's the fun in that? I mean, how much fun could there really be having TTS on that just spouts the N-word, but at the end of the day, it's like you're still not trying to, you're just not, what, you're just not going to go get any loving? You're just not going to have any sex? You're just not going to go do it? I mean, come on, what the hell's the point of that shit? Everyone was engrossed in Baked Alaska and Sammy. They had real sexual tension. People wanted to watch them smash. The camera could have panned up and to the right, like the lovemaking scene in The Truman Show, and I still think he would have raked it in on Super Chats. People were into it. They were invested. They wanted to see a love story happen. They wanted to see it bloom and blossom and grow. But no, of course not, Mr. Like, I don't drink and I don't have sex till I'm married. BS. Not BA. BS. It's a load of crap and you all know it. It's a load of crap and you all know it. See, this is the thing with people like Baked Alaska. It's all a front. It's all a show. It's all a lie. He's got to play up like the over-the-top tradcon life when in reality he's probably a huge degenerate. An absolute mongoloid in some aspects, It is what it is, I guess. It is what it is and all that kind of stuff. All right. So I did see that there was a super chat that popped in. It's a sticker from Butternugget, $3. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. That covered the gas expenditure tonight that I used while delivering people's food. The last particular delivery was, this is what I hate about it. I'm going to bitch about this real quick and then we're going to get into some calls. By the way, I'm going to post the link again so you guys can come on in and whatever. So I go out tonight to like another part of town, like a far out part of town. And then I come back. And then the last order I get is a fucking pizza delivery. That takes me all the way back out to where I didn't want to be because it's like literally like 15 miles from my house. It's like the opposite direction just to drop off someone's pizza. That's the weirdness of the job. But you know what? It was like a $20 order. Can't really complain. I was hoping it would have gone another direction, but it is what it is. That's how we do this thing. All right. So, but Butternut did come with a message saying, I'm going to F off to sleep and listen later. See, this is what I mean when I say that we've got a decent post-live crowd. Someone tonight left a comment. You should just give it up, Matt. You should quit what you're doing because half the people watching, they're just laughing at you, Matt. They're just laughing at you. People have been laughing at me for 2 fucking years. I have open call-ins. Why don't you come on in and actually fucking put your money where your goddamn mouth is? How about that shit? Let's have a little bit of fun on that fucking front, shall we? That's what I have to laugh at this point, guys. People that want to bring up old shit like it's fucking new. You know what I mean? I'm not vintage enough yet to bring it back up and make it think it's like something major. Like, I'm not vintage enough yet. All right. I might be a locale in some aspects, but I'm not vintage locale. You know, I'm not DSP. I'm not Spoony. All right. I'm the asshole who flags some people. I didn't beat off on a live stream. I didn't fucking release my own sex tape. What did Spoony do? I don't even know what Spoony did. All right. I have no fucking idea what Spoony did. Can anyone enlighten me on that one? I just know that like Noah went insane, but I cannot for the fucking life of me remember what Spoony did. And maybe that's because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter. You know, Pro Jared's dick doesn't fucking matter. None of this shit matters. Anyway, let's see here. All right. Am I working, or no, hold on. Am I grifting? Always. Let's see here. Patreon.biz/MundaneMatt. Actually, no, it's patreon.com/Matt Jarbo. That's good. What's going on, Drewby? How you doing? No, it wasn't Mersh. Mersh tried coming at me yesterday on fucking Twitter, because One Step Too Far was all like, yeah, I heard you were talking about Pizzagate. And he played this like 6-second clip of Mersh saying like Pizzagate is real. And I'm like, Pizzagate isn't real. All right. Like, Pizzagate's not real. And then we had that whole discussion last night with Apex. However, like, Mersh started just like coming at me like, oh, you fat faggot. And I'm like, oh, that's all you got. Okay. He's like, no, he goes, literally, he said this to me on Twitter. He goes, explain Epstein in regards to Pizzagate. And I'm like, how does Epstein have anything to do with the fucking pizzeria in DC? I'm like, so you got nothing. And then he came back with nothing. Like, they make all the stink about it. They come back, they make all this fucking stink about Pizzagate's real. Oh, explain Epstein. Explain how Jeffrey Epstein's little St. James Island did, they come in and they do all this shit. And then I'm like, yeah, that's nothing there's nothing in regards to this conversation, and then they got nothing. So they just resort to hyperbole and they fuck off back to the little hug box because that's basically all he can do. That's basically all he can do at this point. It's why all these people, they're fucking feckless. Right? All these fucking internet tough guys, they're fucking feckless. They're just, all they do is run their mouth like little fucking yapping Taco Bell dogs. Yip, 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 yip. That's all they can do. That's it. Like, it's so funny to see because that's all they've got is the same fucking argument. Matt, you flagged somebody. Yeah, I did. The internet knows I did. This was 2 years ago. Where the fuck have you been? No, but you did it. I know that I did it. And I've apologized for it. I'm not going to do it again. And I laugh at it because it was stupid. So again, what's your fucking point? I don't really have a point. I just want to bring it up because I have no really valid argument to make anything about. And I have a small pee-pee pie. That's basically about it. Anyway. All right. So yeah, Mersh hasn't updated himself with the lore, so he's stuck in 2016. Pretty much. Anyway. I'm a little bit, I don't want to say on edge tonight. I'm a little bit fired up, I guess. I don't know why. Maybe I was excited to come home and talk to you guys, and I want to have a thing. Also, fucking apparently, I guess right as I was getting ready to go live, I got sent a DM. Apparently Andy Worski is once again talking about me on the show. Like, Jesus Christ. What an idiot. So, all right. Let's see here. No, okay. John here says the callers last night did teach you a few things about the wider concerns of Pizzagate. Right? He's got suspicious of a celebrity pedophile ring, and Comp Pink Pizza did a really bad job at looking innocent. Yeah, no, that is true. But at the end of the day, my argument was still about the core story. All right. So it would be like if we took Gamergate, like the hashtag, and we applied it to something totally different. Maybe tangentially connected, but still moving far away from what it started off as, which is what people talked about it as, because then it ends up destroying the narrative, and you end up like kind of adopting something that, and it just ends up like logically, it just seems stupid, but that's just my own take on it. Let's see here. Emerald Pilled Monarchist says that Mersh is Irish DSP. Sure. Is it Irish or Irsh DSP? He looks like DSP. All right. And Bianca here says Worski banned me from his DLive. Yeah, he's banned me from everywhere. I don't have a DLive account, so I can't talk on that one there. But all right here. So okay. All right. We're gonna bring on Voice of the Emperor. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing all right, man. Pretty much you're the only reason I'm up, but other than
wait, we're talking. We're okay because we're not. I mean, because someone could take that as being sexual.
No.
Like, Matt, you're the only reason why I'm up right now. Like, ooh, spicy.
Oh my.
Spicy tuna roll.
Damn it, today. I do have some cool news for you, but I also have a director question.
Okay.
Who in your eyes is a good R-rated Michael Bay?
Michael Bay. A lot of his movies are R-rated.
What?
The Rock, R-rated. Bad Boys 1, Bad Boys 2, R-rated. Pain and Gain, R-rated. 13 Hours, R-rated. He didn't do Con Air. I always thought he did do Con Air, but he didn't. That was actually Simon West. But yeah, a lot of his movies are R-rated.
Well, that's news to me.
I mean, I find that kind of weird considering a couple of them are like nearly 30 years old.
Yeah, really. Back when he had balls.
So to him, it's like, I don't know, man. I wish Michael Bay, I don't know. I want Michael Bay to go back to do like something like Bad Boys or like The Rock. You know, he did that Six Underground that came out a year ago on Netflix, came out last year, right? That Ryan Reynolds, Michael Bay movie. It was bad. It wasn't good. Like, you figured Unchained Michael Bay would be awesome. Because it was written by the guys who did Deadpool and Zombieland, and it's like,
Christ!
And I like them as writers. I like their writing.
No, I'm not knocking the writers. I'm a writer, but without good direction, we know what happens.
So the whole point, Nick DeOrio is the Rock movie star. Fuck you. That just gets brought up quite often.
I laugh like Dashy.
Anyway, so the whole idea though is that like Michael Bay just like, I think he's lost it, to be honest with you. Whatever it kind of ended with Transformers 2, in my opinion. Although Transformers 3 was a better movie than Transformers 2, and I will fucking die on that hill.
Hey, I'll die on that hill right next to you, man.
So I was, because I really enjoyed the third Transformers for what it was. 4 and 5 were god awful. I can't stand them.
No.
But the first three, like, I mean, even Dark of the Moon is kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, it's Revenge of the Fallen. Dark of the Moon is the third one.
Yeah,
Revenge of the Fallen is the second. Yeah.
Revenge of the Fallen, I freaking love, because the Fallen just hisses like a freaking rattlesnake, and it gives him a better air of malevolence. This is the guy that corrupted Megatron, Optimus's brother, so he's not to be fucked with.
Yeah.
It's like freaking grandfather from Kids Next Door.
I never watched. I know KND. Like I never really got into it. So
it's they parody everything, but it's just a pleasure to watch.
I don't know. I really enjoyed the show Recess. That was my jam.
Oh yeah. The reason I ask is, who would you peg to make an R-rated General Grievous movie, but like the 2003 Clone Wars?
Actually, so who could mix those together? I think.
Yeah, who do you think could Gordon Ramsay that together?
I think if you're going to
terrible
have
analogy, but go.
Well, I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're trying to say.
What's so fucking complicated?
If we were gonna try and do a General Grievous movie, but like have it be like because I know the Gen D one was pretty like dark.
The 2003 one. Yeah, I just wanted to be freaking terrifying.
I'm trying to think of like who would be a good director for that one. Who could do action and maybe some fucking thrills in the meantime?
I hate to say it, but Tarantino maybe. But
that's an easy go-to. Tarantino's always an easy go-to.
He's over.
It's like the Tarantino Star Trek movie. I'm just like, what? No way.
Why?
No way. I'm not against it. Like, don't get me wrong. I would love to see like, Spock just start dropping the fucking F-bombs. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But
Well, you need a black Spock for that.
that no, you not in a Tarantino movie. Like, you know,
Yeah,
you
but
would,
still, you
it would
need
be
Samuel L.
Tarantino as a Vulcan just saying the N-word left and right, you know. Like, Commander, this is illogical. You know, it's like it is illogical. You know,
Motherfucker.
it's something along those lines. Sam Jackson as a Vulcan would be fucking fascinating. I think that'd be kind of funny. Actually, I think he'd be more of like a Romulan. You know, people would typecast Sam Jackson as a Klingon, but I think he'd be more of a Romulan type.
Yeah, I think Will Smith, or who was the guy that was partners with Will Smith in Bad Boys and
Martin
Bad Boys 2?
Lawrence,
And I think him and Martin Lawrence would be better as Klingons.
maybe shit talking Klingons.
No, I mean, they're a warrior culture. And
Well,
I
yeah, they're a
respect that.
warrior culture, but like, when do you ever look at Martin Lawrence and go, yeah, he'd win in a fight?
Yeah, he doesn't have to win in a fight. He just has to have good commanding skills.
He doesn't, though. It's Martin Lawrence. Like, the dude is straight up legit comic relief. That's his entire shtick, is comedic relief. That's all he can do.
Okay, fine. Don Cheadle.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Don Cheadle's a badass motherfucker. I'd be okay.
Oh yeah,
with
he's
that.
a BAMF. He's a BAMF.
So, you know.
There is a really cool news article I wanted to tell you about, and then we can get back to this.
Okay, well, there's other people that are wanting to come on in too, so let's keep it moving.
Yeah,
but
Japan,
okay, so what's the article? What's the article?
Japan made a 15-meter tall, fully articulating Gundam.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen the Gundam. Yeah, people talk about that, and I'm like, is it real or is it like?
No, it's real. It's real.
Well, what I mean by that is,
plus it's Japan. Dude.
Is it a robot that like? Is it just a big fucking robot?
Or, yeah, it's just a big robot. I mean, it's not going to be charging into, you know, a hail of bullets like a tank, but you know, it baby steps, man. It's kind of like the Challenger, or you know, like a.
Didn't the Challenger explode?
Bad analogy.
Yeah,
but it's like the friggin' space shuttle. You know, it crawls to where it's needed.
Okay. I mean, what we're talking is, you're saying this thing's how tall is it? 15 foot?
15 meters. So
45 feet. 50 feet.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Because a meter is like 39.36 inches, if I recall.
No, 39.6
okay.
Feet, but yeah.
Okay, not feet.
Yeah.
It's not, no, a meter is not, it's 30, it's like a little bit larger than a yard.
Jeez, I need to retake.
Am I wrong on that? I mean, my
guys, can you tell us here?
Hold on. 1 meter is 1.0361 yards.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, wait a minute here. So what you're saying is, this is 15 meters tall, so it's 36.402 yards. Okay, so now I'm doing the math on this thing. Let's find this here. Yard to foot. So it's 45 feet. It's 45 feet roughly. Well, no, hold on. It's wrong.
Okay, Ferdman here. He's got
49,
like a Chuck E. Cheese.
49 to that's a good way to describe it then. But so this thing is rocking about 50 feet almost.
Yeah, and I commented, and I've got like one of the top comments under this video. I said, "Now tell Bill Gates or Elon Musk to give us an atlas."
What we need is a giant fucking kaiju. You know, like something.
No. An atlas is basically a walking Abrams.
Okay, but I don't want to see a mech fight a mech. I want to see a mech fight a monster. I'll settle for a mech fighting a mech.
Well, hey,
right?
I grew up.
But I kind of feel like the Japanese are onto something here. I feel like the Japanese are onto something. They might know something we don't. You know, like what happened during the 2011 tsunami when it cracked open the radiator, right? Like, what if the movie Godzilla, which clearly pulled from that whole thing, what if that was actually a warning, you know, about what's in the deep? Think about that. You know, it could be, and Japan's like, we know what's down there. We must build a robot to fight it, you know, and then they go and they build this giant fucking Gundam because like no one's going to suspect that it's going to fight the real thing. They're thinking some eccentric Japanese billionaire who was like just got a huge fucking like robo boner for like Gundams. And like, I'm gonna make this 50-foot robot, but secretly this thing could fucking kick ass because they're expecting like Godzilla to come and destroy Tokyo. I'm just saying, if that was real, I could probably die happy.
Yeah. Oh, two last things. One, I saw a great meme back in September that said, "Woman photographs giant cube hovering over Florida," and someone took a scene from like Cabin in the Woods and said, "All right, who had the Borg for September?"
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but the second one, I swear to God, is going to get me kicked off of Discord. It says it's an Among Us meme that says there are two imposters among us. Columbine 1999.
Oh God.
I'm like, I am so going to hell for even reading this.
No, you're not going to go to hell for reading it. You're going to go to hell for like. Well, I don't know if you laughed at it. I kind of laughed at it, but
I was like,
I have
oh
a very
God, why
demented.
am I laughing at it?
Well, I mean, like, did you ever play the Super Columbine Massacre RPG?
No, but I played No Russian repeatedly.
Yeah, it's not really the same thing though. Like No Russian for when it came out in 09, that was a big deal. But someone actually made.
Oh, I also pre-ordered Hatred.
Oh, I do you know real quick, and I'll let you go for this, but this is a true story. I was the first person to stream Hatred online.
Oh God.
Yeah. I was the first person to stream Hatred on Hitbox because Twitch had banned it and it was only on PC. And the developers had like seen my coverage of it because I was giving like Polygon a ton of shit for trying to like cancel the
Hey,
game.
free advertising.
And so they sent me a review code of the game, and so I had it a little early. And then as soon as it hit midnight, I like fired up a stream over on Hitbox, and it didn't dawn on me until like the next day that in the second mission in the game, there's a bunch of like sleeping hobos you can slaughter.
You talked to Rich from RTU about this, where you basically saw him as
They were fucking health packs.
yeah, like how you see demons in 2016's Doom.
Yeah, they're just health packs. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
killing the homeless just replenishes your health. This game is so fucked up. I was thinking about Hatred tonight. Actually, I was thinking about Hatred tonight. I'm like, I haven't played that game in a long time, and it's not that I want to go back into it. It's like, I mean, if they would have
just like, why not?
Maybe I'll I'll hook up my Xbox controller to my PC and I'll sit there and I'll play a little bit of fucking Hatred because like that doesn't seem edgy as hell. That doesn't seem like something I would have done in 2016 when it came out.
Yeah. One final thing, like 30 seconds. There's this place up in Redmond called Another Castle Games, and they got so many really cool games. I was able to get like 3 games and an anime collection for like less than $15.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll DM you on Discord the address. It's amazing.
Hopefully I can make it up to Redmond. I need to do some like Seattle traveling, but right now, because I look at Seattle as like a hotbed for COVID, I just don't want to go.
Yeah, so. I'm getting my dad's birthday present there. Mario Kart 64. That shit brought my family together.
Nice.
Take care, bro.
All right, man. We'll talk again soon. Thanks for coming on in. Have a good one.
Yes, I do, Ghost Shark. Yes, I do.
Yes, okay. Oh, yeah, it has a lot of final things. I see that now. All right, cool. So thank you very much. That was a fun opening call. Let's talk to Hondo.
Hey.
What's going on, man?
Dude, I got really fucked up at the Riverwalk today because I live in San Antonio. Have you ever been there to San Antonio?
I have driven through San Antonio on my way to Houston. And I just remember you guys had the Malibu Grand Prix. I drove past it on the 10.
All right. Well, over here next to the Alamo, we have what's called the Riverwalk. It's kind of like a little piece of Venice, right? Like a Mexican Venice. It's really cool, but it's also really pricey, like a giant tourist trap. Anyways, I got really fucked up today.
A Mexican Venice.
Yeah, dude, the San Antonio River.
We kind of call that like Old Town San Diego, like down in San Diego. No, we don't call it a Mexican Venice, right? But I'm trying to like associate what you mean there. Cause I'm like, is it just like, a bunch of favela or not favelas, but like, waterways and,
yes.
And, like there's the dudes
too.
on like on the boats. What are they called? The people that are like in the boats, like, yeah.
Oh, mariachis.
Not Could you imagine a whole bunch of mariachis on like a little dinghy, like just going down the river?
We have that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When I was in Wisconsin, I was in Milwaukee for MythCon. They had people that had like a boat bar, but people were like pedaling the boat while they were sitting at the bar drinking through the river, and it was really weird. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh shit. Anyways, my bad. But yeah, it's like really dope. Like anybody who's listening right now, just Google the San Antonio River Walk. It's awesome. Anyway, so we were down there, right? And I was just getting really, 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 really just fucked up. I'm talking like we just stopped, we started bar hopping, and I started like just knocking them back. And eventually my buddy just sits my ass down in one restaurant, right? Now there's this local figure who's kind of like locally famous in San Antonio called Mexican Elvis. He's like a really, really old guy. He used to be like a mariachi type person, right? But now he just kind of like just stands around to look pretty because he's old as fuck. He looks like he's 80. Anyways, I didn't know this was the real guy. I thought this was like a fucking wax figure, and I'm just plastered, right? So I'm walking in this restaurant. I see him, and I'm staring at him. I'm like, oh, that's so fucking cool, dude. They got Mexican Elvis, right? But I didn't know it was the real one. So I'm staring at this guy all fucking weirdly, all fucked up, drunk, this old man, and he kind of shifts, and I freak out like, dude, it's animated. Oh, shit. And then he actually like moves like a fucking human. And I felt so goddamn embarrassed because everybody was just staring at me like I'm an asshole and I'm drunk.
Well, that happens, man. You know, I mean, like that happens to the best of us when we get fucking hammered. You know, like you don't know what's going on. The whole point of getting drunk is really to not know what the fuck is going on. So, you know, you're like, oh, that's a good way. I mean, you're telling me like, you know, like some celebrities, I'm pretty sure have, you know, had those moments where people don't know that they think that they look like them or some shit. I feel like I've had a moment like that where I know that that's moment that's been done to me. Like when I'm at like VidCon or I'm at another convention or something and I'm talking to a group of people and there's someone there and they go like, you know, you look familiar. And I'm like, really? And like, yeah, like you look like this dude named like Mundane Matt. And I'm like, what do you mean look like him? And like, no, you like, I mean, like, and I get like, no offense, but
your cosplay's kind of off, bud.
Like, you kind of look like him. And I'm like, really? Like, what does he sound like? And he goes, you kind of sound like him too. I'm like, really? Could it be that I am him? And they're like, oh, fuck. You know, you get a bit of that every once in a while.
That's funny.
So real quick here, I'm bringing this up for the chat to see. This is a shot of the Riverwalk in San Antonio. Looks very pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Looks very, very, very attractive. Nice location to go on a date with social distancing.
It is.
Looks like it's pretty good.
Every day there's a wedding that takes place there. Every fucking day. There's like this little tiny little island called, I forgot what it's called, like the Wedding Rock or the Wedding Island. I forgot what they call it here, but it's where all the photographs are taken of like newlyweds.
Okay, it should just be renamed. This is where dreams go to die.
Yeah, basically. Well, I mean, it's a really Mexican town, so like they don't really like divorce that often.
Well, yeah, I get it. The whole Catholicism and
you know, all that shit.
Turn off that pesky ethics or morals or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird like
traditions.
And that's fine, dude. I knew a lot of people in San Diego that were Hispanic that had their traditions. That's all great. But no, okay. So you would recommend going and checking out that place if I ever make my way back to San Antonio?
Yes, I recommend it. Anyways, me and DJ Axel, we just got done fucking roasting the shit out of this one guy called Mr. Deadman. He's like one of his A-logs.
Oh yeah, Deadman. He's talked about me a bunch.
Like, was he talking shit or like?
Yeah, he was. Well, this is like I first like discovered him when the whole flagging thing happened. He was one of the like, I don't know, fucking like 1,000 people that made a video. And then recently I don't have the Google alerts for Mundane Matt anymore, but occasionally I do take a look just to get an idea of what's being said. Cause I'm still like, I'm still curious, good, bad, or the other.
Yeah.
And then he like was talking about me again, like just randomly. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I haven't done anything in forever, but like I just get brought up in conversation, I guess. So fill me in on this roasting.
Okay, so he's been going balls deep on the whole DJ Axel and his fucking Discord full of pedophiles and all this shit, right? Now
okay, to be fair here, Phantom Organization is fucking with people on that one, right?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, because he called me yesterday too. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I was there when he was calling me, dude, fucking live. That was funny as shit.
Like, because he calls me and I'm taking a shit.
That was funny.
I was all like, what the fuck does he want? And
dude, did you know what he did to Kraut?
No.
Okay, he called Kraut before he called you, right? So Kraut answers the phone, and I don't know what fucking time it is over there, right? But he just sounds like just strung out and tired, and he's like, I'm smoking some weed right now. And fucking Pico starts freaking out because he doesn't want that shit. He like just live for the whole internet, right? so fucking crowded. Didn't know he was being streamed when he starts talking about just rolling up a blunt. And
Oh no, I can't tell it because it's not my story to tell about kraut and weed. That's actually really fucking funny, and I can't tell it because I would want to get his permission before I could tell it because like I don't want to embarrass him or nothing. He's not that there's anything in this story to be embarrassed about.
But
Like
I get you though. Yeah.
I'm kind of proud of him, to be honest with you, and I wish he would have done more of it. But it's one of those things where it's like that's kind of his deal, and it's just But I kind of get it because I've talked to Kraut when he's really stoned. And it's possible that I will get fucking hammered on election night. I will just get. I think my anxiety levels for election night are going to be through the fucking roof. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be like just waiting, for like the what's going to happen, the future to happen. Like Y2K and shit.
Yeah, I'm 99% sure Trump's gonna win, but I'm just worried about the fucking rioting and the fucking mass panic, and I don't know what the hell's gonna happen because I guarantee you it's gonna boil down to Joe Biden standing on the front of the White House lawn with like a bunch of people from Congress demanding that the votes that came in late in the mail are counted and all this shit, and then it's gonna boil down to men arguing about fucking who really gets to be the president. And I think that's gonna be the scary part because they're already planning like a million man march or some shit on the like a giant election weekend protest, and I'm worried about that because I went to the protest here in San Antonio. My buddy is actually a photographer, and I think he's with MSNBC. He was like an intern there, right? And we just went down there to get photos, right, for his little fucking photography, whatever the fuck job, just sell them to the city. And I got tear gassed. We had fucking glass flying around us. We could feel the rubber bullets whizzing by.
Yeah,
it got nuts, dude. It got nuts.
Well, that's the thing, though. So, like, let's say, for example, Biden does win. All right, let's just say he wins. I don't know yet. My money's on. I don't even know because like the polls are saying one thing, but then I'm like thinking back to 2016, and the polls said a lot in 2016. But then I'm also looking at how many people have early voted, and there's like a fucking shitload of them that have early voted. So I mean, like we're talking like almost 5 times as many people have early voted now than 4 years ago.
Right. 17 million, I think, have already voted.
Yeah, so it's like there's like 4 million as of. I don't know. I've seen different statistics. Someone said like 1 million to 17 million. Someone else was all like 14 million to 4 million.
Oh, I think it's the different states. Wait,
no, it would be cumulative. It would be total.
Yeah,
but let's just say, for example, Biden wins. Okay. And a lot of people, like I know Cenk Uygur is trying to sit there and go that it's pretty much a guarantee. He's calling it at this point, which I wish he wouldn't do because I don't want him to get anyone's hopes up. But the idea there would be, it's that last 4 months, right? It's that last 3 months during the transition period, because Trump is clearly going to contest it. He's already out there right now saying that the voting is already, it's all like, he even said, was it today or was it last night or the other night at that fucking thing where he just was all like, oh yeah, if there weren't any ballots, it would just be a continuation. Like, what kind of fucking comment is that, man? Like, seriously, like, you're not going to do a lot to win over the moderates, and the moderates are what put you the fuck over. That's the whole point. People need to remember that it's the moderates and the people not voting that put Trump over in those key states. And that's going to be what might change this time. Again, it boils down to like really Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Iowa, and Florida. And Florida is going to be the tough one. But if Arizona flips, because it's looking right now like Arizona is going to flip from red to blue, and that's fucking unheard of. So there's a lot going on with that right now. That's going to be very interesting to see what happens when it plays out in a couple of weeks. But Trump, look, on a nationwide level, I'll just say this real quick: that whole town hall he did looked bad for him. Because Savannah Guthrie, she kind of debated him in a way that he wasn't able to wiggle out of. And his non-committal to answers and just a lot of the incoherent rambling that he's known for, I think it really did hurt because the ratings were fucking shit.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
one thing I'll give Trump respect on is that he lets people talk shit to him. Like if you look at Joe Biden's DNC equivalent of it, right? Nobody brought up the Hunter Biden laptop. Nobody brought up the accusations with Burisma.
because none of it matters. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
Trump is trying to take Hunter Biden and turn Hunter Biden into Joe Biden. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And then even now, those reports are being dismantled like piece by piece because look, for one, the story of how it got out there, I don't fucking believe. Not one goddamn bit. You know, like, oh, he left his laptop, they cloned it, the hard drive. I mean, look, I think the information there is probably pretty legit. But at the same time, like, it's not that big of a bombshell.
Yeah, I know. Hunter Biden's crackhead degeneracy, it doesn't look bad on Joe Biden. What looks bad on Joe Biden is the shit with Burisma, where the money they're giving to Hunter, that someone's going to be held in reserve for Joe Biden. And I think we're going to have to wait to see what happens with all that. You know, like, I'm a open-minded person. If it turns out it's horse shit, you know that's horse shit. I don't know. I do not want the fucking election night chaos. I don't want the rioting.
Oh, I think it's gonna. Well, that's the whole point, though. It's going to be the next couple months that we're going to see an election night. We're going to see the continuation of the chaos until January 20th, come hell or high fucking water. It's just going to be this whole Thanksgiving and Christmas and the New Year is going to with COVID and like the unemployment rate as high as it is because of COVID and everything else that's going on. Like, you know, I mean, we're not going to see unless if they don't give us another stimulus. That's going to hurt a lot of local businesses that are going to be needing that bailout and shit. I mean, like, it's pretty fucking nuts right now. And that's all going to be high intensity, dude, going into the end of the year and into the beginning of next year. Super high fucking intensity. So my question is going to be, what's going to happen in that last 4 months if Trump, because I don't think Trump is going to, let's say he loses. Trump, right. You know, normally in that that during the transition phase, the president relatively becomes a bit of a lame duck, you know? And you know, he might pardon some more people. That's really about it. There might be a couple executive orders that are largely going to be symbolic or maybe meaningless. But then the question becomes,
if he wins, he's a lame duck.
If he wins, he's not going to be a lame duck. But, you know, again, like, there's going to be some kind of shifting, right? Whether Trump remains president, but the Senate ends up shifting over to the Democrat control, right? Because again, that is something that could be a possibility as well. You know, if you look at some of the battleground, some of the key races for the Senate, like Lindsey Graham is getting outspent by just a fucking insane margin. A lot of money is coming in. I mean, to the point of where Lindsey Graham is even out there on Capitol Hill and like kind of campaigning for money, you know, which is illegal. It's actually a crime for him to do that when he did it. And it was more of like a just desperate bid for cash. So again, everything is fucking nuts right now. Like, I'm trying to not like, I don't want to call it. Anything could happen. I have clearly my own desire. I want Trump gone. I've been very open about that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, at the same time, I'm not getting my hopes up. You know, like, I look at the polling and then I'm like, all right, I like what the polling is saying, but I also liked it, you know, in 2016. And who knows, there could be this massive groundswell of people that come out on election day to vote, and they all vote Trump in these key states, and he ends up winning the EC. You know, that could be a factor. Anything could fucking happen.
Dude, if you do like an election night drunk stream or like a stone stream, I'll be here with you. I will. I will probably.
I will. People have requested it. I will probably end up doing it. So, but all right. So, all right, I got some more people I'm going to jump onto real quick. And but thanks a lot, Honda, for coming on in, man. I appreciate it. And we'll talk again soon.
All right. Take care, homie.
All right. Later, man. Have a good one. Okay. That was fun. I like talking politics. I know not everyone likes politics. It is, you know, it is a thing. All right. Let's jump into Turk February. What's going on, man?
Hey, man.
What you doing?
Well, it's like 3 p.m. over here, almost 4 p.m. and I'm despondent. I'm bored. Nothing is happening. What's some fun things happening on the internet right now that I could get into? I can jump into and just immediately have fun with.
Well, you know, More or less. I think that you've got, if are you familiar with the Baked Alaska situation?
Of course, yes. And I find I can't watch more than 2 minutes of him because then my brain. Here's the weird thing: if I watch somebody long enough, my internal monologue starts speaking in their voice, and Baked's voice is so annoying I can't watch him.
Yeah, no, I get that. I understand that. I've heard the same thing about me from like other people. That is unfortunately how it is. Okay, well, because right now those guys are all doing this massive RV thing where they've rented an RV. There's a number of them. They're live streaming right now.
And a lot of them backed out too. Like I heard all of the Groypers backed out. So it's just like fucking Only Use Me Blade and Baked's fucking essentially homeless people that Baked has met.
Well, he wanted Sammy to come on in, right? He wanted that woman from Arizona that he made like 15 grand off of to come on in. And
well,
then
he didn't make that money. YouTube kept that money.
No, they're gonna pay him.
Are you sure?
They said they're gonna pay him.
Okay.
Yeah, and the thing is they can't keep the fucking money because the money has been spent to him and is tied to his social security. So they can't. Yeah, they have to legally pay him because like it's his money. They then will remove him from the partner program and they banned his channel. So there's that, but they would have paid him. I mean, the same thing happened to Medicare with like $4 grand. And I'm pretty sure they paid him the money, so.
Well, when the, Wall Street Journal kills kids thing happened, I'm pretty sure they didn't pay.
No, well, that was actually, no, they returned the money to the people.
Okay.
They returned the money because that was a super chat for good scenario. So all that money was going to the St. Jude charity. So they ended up St. Jude just returned all the donations.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's what happened there. Yeah, and I look. The thing is, like, I don't know. Like, I think St. Jude was kind of cunty for doing that, to be honest with you. But at the same time, they pull in millions upon millions of dollars a year in donations.
But again, it's not as big of a deal as it seemed to us as viewers. I'm sure you were on the sidelines watching it, and you were like, "This is a big deal." No, it's a fucking drop in the bucket to them. Like, it doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't really matter to them. And I was on the sidelines more or less laughing that Ralph got booted off of YouTube for it. So I don't care. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, fuck that guy. But
I'm going to admit it. At that time, I was on Ralph's side.
Well, I can understand why people were on his side. I get it. I do. That was kind of like, but I don't care.
I've been on both sides of the gun. I've been under the flaps. I've been under the flaps. I've explored the gunt from all angles.
Well,
and I've realized that it is a disgusting, blubberous gunt.
Well, yeah, that's very true. We've all seen it in action. It's Jello-esque movements like a human waterbed.
Sort of.
It kind of if you just look at the GIFs that people have made, like that bouncing blob.
Yeah.
That looks like that's his gunt. It's like mesmerizing. It's like Homer Simpson when he's running on the treadmill.
Well, the other thing is the skin is actually loose over the fat.
Yeah, in that original gunt image. Yeah, now the fat's back.
I've watched the hackers. The hackers, they leaked a sex tape of Ralph.
Yes, the quote unquote hackers.
They've leaked it. I've watched it a lot, and it is just a fucking mess. There's a lot of skin. There's a lot of fat. Yes, there's some bounciness to it, but also there is still that that chicken skin kind of pulling it off the meat. Disgusting.
So are you basically saying that your definition of the gunt is basically what Buffalo Bill wanted to do to those young women in Silence of the Lambs? Like that would be the end result.
Ralph is a serial killer? Yes.
No. Well, I don't think he's a serial killer.
Ethan Ralph is a serial killer who puts the skin of fat women over his gun to make it look more powerful. It is the source of his power, Matt.
Does he have any power anymore?
Only in his gun, with the skin of innocent.
With the skin of
Fat
the
women.
innocent. Is that where the child is really being grown? He was able to pull a junior situation where he was able.
As that child is born, he is going to suck out all the stem cells out of its spine to expand his blubberous gunt so that it may conquer. Now, is it going to go the way he expects it to go? The question is this strategy of murdering babies to make his gunt bigger, is it going to work out for Ralph? I'm going to say no, but we don't know. It's yet to happen.
Well, I mean, it's possible that I look, if I'm going to, and this is going to get me in probably so much fucking trouble to say, but if I were going to take bets on what, if that child were to die in Ralph's care.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of people would probably argue, they'd put their money on either suffocation, right?
Can I correct you? It's not an if, it's a when.
Okay, so that's your theory, is that it's a when. I'm gonna run on the hyperbole if it's an if. And all I'm saying is people are gonna put their money on, like, crushing, suffocation, malnourishment, starvation.
Matt, I work with children. There is no way a child can survive in Ethan Ralph's care.
I disagree. I think if he's left alone with the child, eventually he'll eat it like that trash burger.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have a feeling most likely
we got faith on the other end, and I've heard some very negative things said about Faith that I didn't agree with, but she's not ready to raise a child. That child is going to be left in a corner like a fucking. It's going to be like Cleo. It's going to fucking run away from the yard at some point. Like, he's just going to forget it exists. And so is she. She's going to forget it exists. And it's going to run away. It's going to hop over the fence. And it's going to find freedom in the woods.
So are you saying, like, the child's going to be like, was it a Lumberkind from Witcher 3?
It's going to be like Mowgli.
You feed it after midnight, it morphs into the gremlins?
The deer are going to raise that child and is going to learn the ways of the deer.
Oh, my God. Look, okay. So for one, I don't wish anything bad to happen to that kid.
I don't want anything bad to happen, of course.
But I also don't view the people involved with rearing that child as being there who could potentially raise it properly. I don't view that as being anything. You've got the mom who's like,
Matt,
what?
Let's look at Ralph and Faith, and then let's look at a deer. Who would you rather raise that child?
You know what? I would probably argue a deer. I think a deer.
Exactly.
I think a deer could teach, because I have lots of deer in my neighborhood. So I think a deer could, they operate in packs.
Passion.
Right?
It can teach love. It can teach respect for nature and the environment and the things around it. It can teach a child how to scavenge for walnuts and pine nuts. Ralph can't. Ralph doesn't know how to fucking eat pine nuts.
Well, he can pick them out of the scat. That's how he gets his vegetables. Faith eats corn, and then Ralph just blasts.
I just got that. I'm sorry.
Whatever comes out, it's like it's fruity and delicious. Well, here's the thing. So morning, afternoon headshot. This is kind of what I want to get to. She says here that Ralph's going to be drunk and get mad. Little Gunty is crying. And that's, like, I'm being, like, realistic here when I say this. That is my biggest fear, is that because babies cry and babies are loud. And if you're trying to work, or if you are stressed, which you will be in the first year, then it's like, I'm afraid that Ralph's going to be like, shut the fuck up. And then just shake the.
Ralph only knows how to escalate. He's
Yeah.
not going to pacify a baby. He's going to escalate it. He's going to go one step further. Oh, you're crying? I'm going to cry louder.
We can just holler over each other all day.
Ralph, seriously, let's take that child away and let's give it to the deer. The deer will take care of that child.
I think I have a feeling that social services are going to come in far before that would even be an issue.
Do social services have deer on staff?
No, but they're relatively nurturing.
Matt, I really want deer involved.
What? Yeah. Why? What is it like? I mean, does a deer like just lead a simple enough existence and you're happy with that?
Because it makes this very tragic scenario sort of funny.
Well, okay. I guess so. I mean,
something we shouldn't be joking about. The truth is, this is a horror.
It is a horror. Like, it is a horror. It is. I'm being fair. I'm being honest. This is an honest opinion. I do fear for the safety of that child. I do. People who make very bad choices oftentimes don't make very good parents.
You got 2 girls, right?
I have 2 girls. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you leave them alone with Ethan Ralph for 45 minutes?
No.
I've got lots of girls because I work in an early childhood education. Like,
okay.
That's my job.
That's okay. So your personal experience, your work experience is what you're pulling from here. Okay.
If I found out that Ethan Ralph was the father of one of my girls, I would contact somebody.
Would you raising Arizona that child?
Maybe.
You would consider raising if for those of you who don't know, that's a movie with Nicolas Cage where they steal a baby.
I forgot Nicolas Cage was in that.
Yeah,
I just remember it was the Coen brothers. I forgot. Yesterday, me and my friends had a discussion about what's the best Nicolas Cage movie. I totally forgot that Raising Arizona even exists.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a very good movie.
It is good.
So,
yeah. But like, I would tell that child to go into gym class and sit there while I called the police if I found out that fucking Ethan fucking Ralph is their father.
Well, I mean, that's one of those things they're going to eventually have to learn on their own. You can't. They're probably going to figure it out pretty fucking quickly.
Okay. Learn it on your own. What about Gabriel fucking Lopez?
Who is Gabriel Lopez?
Sorry, I fucked up the name. Gabriel Fernandez.
Who's Gabriel Fernandez?
Gabriel Fernandez was a child. He was 8 years old. He went to the hospital. His skull was caved in. He had cigarette burns all over his body. He had his ankles fucking roped up. Like, he had rope burn all over his ankles. His stepfather and his mother fucking tortured him to death over a course of a year.
Wow.
Like,
look, I don't think it's going to go that far. I think
No, I think it's just going to be neglect.
Well, I mean, from Ralph, yes. Ralph
yes. Is a baby. There's no way he's going to let somebody else be a baby in the household. He is the baby. He's the one who needs his bum wiped. That is Ralph's existence.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens on that one. Really, we'll have to wait and see what happens on that one.
Yeah.
So, but all right, man, I'm going to let you go because I got a few other people that want to jump on in.
Become a court case, and the fucking Supreme Court is going to get involved, and it's going to be Gabriel fucking Fernandez all over again.
Okay, well, if that happens, then people can say they heard it here first on Boulder Talk Radio.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good one. All right. We have a special guest in the back room. I want to make sure that Then we get Nicholas DeOrio.
Hey, what's going on, Matt?
What's up, dude? Long time no talk. How you been?
Oh, God, I would have liked to have been on here sooner, but I haven't been awake this late.
That's okay.
Plus, at my computer.
Plus, I figured at this point you're usually on with Augie or something. I don't know what he's doing.
God, like over here, it's 3:00 in the morning. The only reason I'm like at my computer right now is because I'm pulling an all-nighter making a video, and I'm bored. So
you tune into my channel? I don't think that's going to be the key to end your boredom, Nick.
I've been listening to it a lot recently. Actually, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, I've been hearing some people have been I've been getting approached with a lot of messages from people saying they just like the randomness of it.
Yeah, you got something fun over here. Yesterday's stream in particular, hearing some of the old Matt stories from when you were a wee lad. That was
God,
interesting.
There's so many more to that too. There's so many fucking more. That guy, his name is Noah. I met him right like when I was, I think 19, about to turn 20, and like we had mutual friends, and Noah like I've gotten into so much fucking shit because of that guy. You know, like we're talking, like, you know, I'm pretty sure some illegalities, you know, like
we're past the statute of limitations now, aren't we?
Yeah. So like, you know, like, but what it was is he was an alcoholic. I'm pretty sure he might still be, but he was very functioning alcoholic back in the day. And, but his mom was always so fearful that he would fuck up. So every time I'd go over to pick him up to go do something, she would look at me and she'd go, "Matt, make sure my son comes home." And I'm like, motherfucker, I can't even have fun now.
Holy don't you put that on me, lady.
Don't you?
Jesus
like,
Christ.
I'll tell you, this is a true story. This is a fucking 100% true story. He went on a blind date once with this goth chick. He didn't have a car. So he asked me to give him a ride. I said, okay, fine. You know, so I go pick him up, drive him up to the bar. And then he's like, "Hey, why don't you come and hang out?" And I'm like, "But dude, you're on a date with this girl." He's like, "Yeah, you know what? Like, you're my ride. Why don't you come hang out?" I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I go in to the bar, and she's a very attractive woman. She's very funny. Her and I start talking a little bit. He just disappears.
What?
For like 2 hours, he just disappears. Her and I drink, and we go sing karaoke, you know, and like we have it, like we go on a fucking date, right? And then
dude, he just tagged you in like the fucking baton pass.
Yeah, kind of. He was like, "I'm not into it, but my friend here will fucking take over for me," or whatever the fuck. He went out into the parking lot and like started drinking with like a local band out there. And then because he's a musician, so he's playing the guitar and they're jamming in the fucking parking lot. I have no idea where he went. She has no idea where he went. And then like, you know, so I'm like thinking, okay, well, you know, maybe at the end of this thing, her and I hit it off. Maybe we, you know, we'll see where this goes. So I'm like, "Well, hey, can I get your number?" And then she's like, "No." I'm like,
"Oh my God."
Yeah, because what it was is Noah is an attractive man. I'm not. And so we had fun together, but that's what she thought she was going to get. Not Kevin Smith, but like, you know, like a young David Boreanaz looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
So like, there's like, but like shit like that, dude, fucking all the time, shit like that. It'd be tons of things like the Smeagol story from last night was still a weird fucking night because like they spit roasted that woman. They did. They bragged about it after the fact. They spit roasted that woman who was like older than both of them by
That's such like an awkward situation. I don't know if I would be down with that.
I'm not personally down with that, to be honest with you. Like that's not my jam. But you know, again, when it's one of those things, you're drunk and you're horny, and it's like, well, we're here, sort of thing. Like it's a guarantee or nothing, right?
So like I have friends in the fraternity who have done that, and it's just I don't know. Seems odd.
Yeah, I know. Made the lights. I don't know what prompted him to do it. I don't know if it was a one-time thing. I never really asked, never bothered to find out more. I just remember like showing up there and there being a 42-year-old woman not wearing a top, and then like calling my friend Robert Schmiegel, you know, and then then the night going, "Oh my God." Yeah, just so many fucking things. And this is like, but this was years and years and years and years and years and years of this, right? Like we've done Comic-Con together where Noah gets drunk and like breaks stuff. We went to E3. I helped him get into E3. We went to the Xbox 360 launch party in the Mojave Desert because he won tickets, and then like I had to finagle us to get up there. We were friends for a very, very, very long time. And then we stopped hanging out because I moved, and then, you know, he went off and did his own thing and shit. So it's like just been all of this crap all of these years. So yeah, there's a lot of weird shit with him.
Yeah.
And it all revolves around alcohol. But I will say probably one of the funniest things is on my 26th birthday, we did a barbecue, we did a bonfire, and he pulled out a Jar Jar Binks mask and started going like, "Oh, Mr. Jar Jar Binks, happy birthday, Jar!" Like started doing the whole fucking thing. I don't know if it's recorded. It might be. There's a drunken. We actually have a on my main channel, on the actual Matt Jarbo channel. I think there's a video of him and I singing a version of "Fuck Her Gently" by Tenacious D. That was kind of our jam back then.
Dude, you made some different content back in the day.
Yeah, I tried. That was I did things, and then I got into doing YouTube full time. And you know what that means, Nick? I don't go anywhere.
Speaking of YouTube, I was actually coming in here to ask what your take was on the whole new terms of service change regarding the conspiracy theorists and the fallout that happened with accounts getting suspended and stuff.
Yeah, that's some weird shit, dude. Like they're fucking cracking down again, and it never ends well. You know?
Yeah, look, I don't understand the whole idea of like censoring conspiracy theories. Isn't that just like making them believed by more people? Like if you can claim censorship, you can claim that these are justified. Like the reason they're censoring these is they don't want you to know. I don't really get what Susan's trying to do here. Maybe protect yourself from an article or two.
I think a lot of it boils down to the platform as a whole. They know the bad shit that goes on this platform. Like they're fully aware of it. And they try to act like they don't know. What they do is they compartmentalize everything. So then one area doesn't know what the other area is doing. Mm-hmm. And it just creates this plausible deniability.
Yeah.
So, I've spoken with like this product team of like 3 different divisions when I was at VidCon last year. And they they all explain they have no idea what the other one is doing. So they were trying to figure it all out. But yeah, Susan, I mean, they want to make sure that it's as, because, okay, they took a hit this year as well, right? In regards to ad revenue.
Yeah.
And even though we're in like,
and they're barely breaking even like every other year. So that's kind of a big deal.
And then the rest of us are getting fucked this year anyway. Cause like, there's just nothing really going on, you know? There's not a lot in ad revenue right now. So a lot of people are live streaming. And
you'll notice that some of the Raycon earbud sponsorships were gone for a little while because they didn't really have the product to sell.
Yeah.
They didn't have the people working to make it.
Yeah.
And a lot of YouTube sponsorships. If you weren't doing VPNs and shit like that, a lot of YouTubers took a hit financially recently.
Oh yeah. I got an email about Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship for $3 theater.
Oh really?
And I'm all like, I'll take it.
Fuck that. Why not?
I want a PS5.
And tell Crowd about it. I think he's.
I did tell. That was the first thing I fucking did. That was the first thing I did, Nick. I'm like, dude. I'm like, hey, Crowd. I got this fucking sponsorship offer from Raid, right? And he's all like, do you need the money? I'm like, yeah. He's like, just fucking do it. Like,
yeah.
Because Kraut looked into Raid, and it's interesting some of the aspects of it, of what he found out, which he's supposed to be doing a video on at some point in the future. But yeah, so I don't know about that. They haven't gotten back to me yet. I've emailed them. We're waiting to see where it goes. But right now, I don't know what's going on with YouTube because this terms of service change, like getting rid of conspiracy theory videos. I mean, like, I kind of feel like it's edging towards getting rid of some of even like the more prominent right wingers on the platform because they cross over into that. There's a Venn diagram of that shit, and they cross over pretty frequently. Mm-hmm. And so, like, you look at people like even Steven Crowder or Tim Pool, Styx Hexenhammer, all this shit. They're gonna end up, going and down, because of whenever YouTube does something like this, they immediately respond to it, which is, I think, almost what YouTube wants is for them to respond, so then they know like who to target.
I had kind of a theory that this was related to the Hunter Biden thing, and that was YouTube's way of answering that. Because this came like the day. Because here's the deal: when they announced this, the harassment changes, those were like over several months. It was like announced, and then there was like the initial ban wave, and then we didn't really feel it for a couple months later. This was like really sudden, and it was the day after Facebook and Twitter like censored that story. So I was thinking maybe there could be a relation.
Well, it's kind of like the whole Carlos Maza thing from last year, and everyone was all like, "Oh, they, what was it, Vox Adpocalypse or whatever?" And it's like they had already talked about changes to the system back in January. It just happened to come at a really bad time.
Yeah, the thing is with that, like that whole situation was really interesting. I think the issue wasn't like how they censored things after that, because what they really did was they just shut off comment sections. So the pedophiles were all still watching the videos that were like making the comments, you just couldn't see them anymore. So whatever they were doing, they were probably putting timestamps on other websites. It was probably filled with degeneracy. But YouTube's answer for that was like, if you can't see the pedophiles, they're not there. And the real pushback was like ad sponsors and stuff like that. And I think that was the big issue on that front. But with this situation in particular, I noticed the two examples that YouTube cited were specifically QAnon and Pizzagate, which I know QAnon is as far right as you possibly get. But I see more like, like Mouthy Buddha would be a good example of guys who talk about Pizzagate a lot. And I feel
he just got booted too, which is like fucking insane.
Yeah.
So, because those videos were up for a while, and I'm just wondering if it got caught in, if it just got caught in some kind of filter right now, or some kind of, because of this big push, like, because you know how it is. Every time they make a big change like this, they do this mass sweeping takedown of videos. And then it just causes confusion, and they bring out this little blog post that explains it vaguely, and then they go back. The
first punch is the worst, and then after that, you don't really hear about it.
Yeah, it's always.
I feel like YouTube does these changes to like make a quick correction, but they also don't really want to fuck everybody over. I mean, that sounds kind of crazy because we see all these people get banned, but for the most part, like the widespread YouTube community doesn't get hit with hate speech that often.
No.
They don't get hit with harassment that often. It's really just channels that are reported a lot, channels that are getting a constant controversy, which is probably leading them to be reported a lot. I don't think YouTube actively wants to delete everybody off their website, otherwise they wouldn't make any money.
Well, they wouldn't, but at the same time, if they bring in, let's say, someone like, because people always bring up like Stephen Colbert and like The Daily Show and shit, right? Like, how come they can talk about these subjects, but we can't? And the reason why, especially for when it comes to monetization, is those companies, those productions have their own advertising that they bring into YouTube.
Here's the deal. I've heard that specifically talking to big YouTubers about why music videos can show like more nudity and why ads play on those videos, because their own specific ads are playing on those videos.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's like a combination of the two. I doubt it's like exclusively their own ads, but yeah, for the most part, they're getting the Google Premium ads, and then they're getting most of their own ads.
Exactly. And that ends up being like a big issue, because they were talking about this a few months ago, where they were actually going to let content creators import their own ads. Like, you could go and find a sponsor that wanted to like support your channel and then run ads on your channel. Like, they were talking about that. Like, I read about it, and then there's been nothing. And there's been so many fucking times.
There's so many features like that. They talk about rolling out the edgy ads. Like, remember, that was a huge thing a couple months ago. And the other one is they were putting super chats on videos. And some people have that feature, but for some reason, YouTube's so stupid, they don't like make it a super chat. They just make it a donation. If they like highlighted a comment in a different color and pushed it to the top, do you know how much money we could make off of that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%, dude. 100%.
Oh my God.
Because that's the thing. That's the thing when it comes to the channel membership that I like, is that they finally added the badges for the comment section, so you could at least see that there were people that were channel members that were commenting.
Yeah.
And then that was pretty cool too. But I agree with you. Like, if people are going to be able to super chat or donate to already previously published videos, then it would make a lot of sense to be able to like have those highlighted. Because look, ultimately what YouTube's going to have to do when it comes to live streaming is very much look at what Twitch does by adding more interactivity, and they're not going to, which is why StreamYard is blowing the fuck up. StreamYard comes in.
I've never heard of StreamYard till like today.
Yeah, no, it's great, dude. I dropped the cash for the 1080p streams and shit. It has a lot of features to it. It's live streaming. It's very simple. I mean, you see it. This all I do is I go into a browser and I bring it up, and I just bring up the window, the pop-up chat, and I have us in there. I can have 10 people in here, 9 with the chat window open, that are in the back room wanting to come in. I can bring everybody in all at once. I can highlight chats, things like that. It's for streaming. It's super fucking easy. And it's like you only use your browser. And I know so many people on the movie side of things right now, and even the commentary side, that are literally just using that to make videos. They're not even touching OBS anymore.
Oh God, this is a random derail. But speaking of movie things, what are your thoughts on Andy's big story with the whole Spider-Man thing, like with the Andrew Garfield and Toby coming back? Would you like that? Or?
No, because it's like it's so fucking. Like, I'm not against it, to be fair. Like, if it's done right, I'm gonna probably lose my shit like everybody else.
It's a fucking nostalgia bait, and I'm on board, bro. I'm on board.
I know, but it's kind of like I would rather Tom Holland's story get wrapped up. You know,
really
like,
already? You really want them off?
well, no.
already?
What I mean by that is this arc, because what I had
Yeah.
heard originally was that it was going to be like the high school, college years, and adult years. So we're talking like 9 Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland. That's what I've heard. And like, so this whatever this one is, this is going to wrap up his high school years. So if you're going to open up the multiverse, which they already teased in the last one, but then we found out that was bullshit, and they're going to do it now with this movie that they're already apparently going into production on in New York. It's already started to film apparently. There's I'm like, look, I don't know what's going to happen with it. I'm what I'm worried is that Sony is like afraid of actually just continuing the fucking story, and they want to throw everything they can at the wall.
And that's what happens in every Spider-Man franchise that ever fails.
Yeah, it's like
they don't want to
play
just do the story. They're like, all right, we have to do 5 different arcs or whatever. They haven't learned their lesson.
No, they haven't. They
and
really
I feel like
haven't.
we're watching the start of that again.
Yeah, I mean, I get the nostalgia bait's going to be there, dude. And like, for one, I'd love to see Tobey Maguire come back as Peter Parker. Same with Andrew Garfield. I liked him. I would love to see the 3 of them interact. It'd be a lot of fun, in my opinion. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, I would rather just see the ending of the, because you can't sit there and go, okay, we've exposed Peter Parker's identity. We've accused him of murdering Mysterio. Fucking J. Jonah Jameson is back now and like talking all that shit, which is going to be amazing. And then go, okay, well, now in this movie, we're bringing in Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2. And then we're going to bring in Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Like, what is this? Like, you guys are just rushing to the finish line, like rushing to this multiverse thing. And I think the reason why is because DC is doing it.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think they've been itching to do this for a while too. Like, they can't fucking contain themselves anymore. Maybe they're like thinking that Toby or whatever, or maybe Andrew. I don't think Andrew. I think Andrew's in for whatever the fuck like happens. But maybe they think they're gonna lose Toby if they don't do it soon, because they were trying to do this with Amazing Spider-Man 3, I think. Right, that was the rumor. And then they were also trying to do this in the Spider-Verse thing. They were gonna have Tom. They were gonna have everybody come back as like these are the videos that I've seen on YouTube. I could be wrong.
I mean, some of them are like, well, a lot of that I don't know, man. To be fair, a lot of that stuff is just kind of pulled out of someone's ass.
Yeah.
And like at this point, the movie scooper industry, and I'm friends with like one of the more prominent ones, a couple of them actually. But it's like, even I'm like, a lot of that shit's toxic as fuck. It's just like, I don't touch it right now because it's just like, fuck it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really interested to see what they do with it. But here's the thing. So apparently, Turk February wants to come on and talk. I don't know what he wants, but they're in the chat. They're like demanding it.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
Okay.
But, I mean, sure.
Okay. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I got other people that are in the back room too, so I do want to. We'll do this, and then we'll see where the fuck it goes.
Right,
real quick though, real
sports.
quick. Yeah. Hondo, $5 super chat. I missed this one because you were coming on in. Fei will leave Ralph and go back home. To the sec he gets violent. Hashtag me too. She couldn't even handle Mr. Vickers grounding her. She has a princess complex. I think you have a very good point there. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens when that whole thing breaks wide the fuck open. Okay. So let's see here. Okay, Turk, what did you want to talk to Nick about?
Hello, good sir.
Well, I remember things that the internet sometimes forgets.
All right.
Believe it or not, the internet does forget things. And I remember that when the Wall Street, the Wall Street Journal kills kids things happened, I remember Nick quite happily supporting the Wall Street Journal.
I did.
I remember him vying for censorship on YouTube and laughing at it.
Really?
Beside his buddy Tommy C.
I can actually link you the stream because we specifically talked about how Ralph was going to be terminated probably earlier in the day before Ralph actually did get terminated when the article came out. I have a really good memory. Sorry.
Celebrated it.
Specifically,
you celebrated censorship on YouTube.
We specifically said that we're not happy to see Ralph go down at the time. And that, in my personal opinion,
I see, that's the thing. I remember.
Yeah, me too.
So does Petra Farms. I'm not too sure.
You
like
have a timestamp. I think you can use the transcript to pull it up. What I remember specifically was talking about how I think that Ralph, if he didn't laugh about multiple different like Jewish related, I think what was it, the Christchurch shooting or something during a I'm trying to remember. It was something about Jewish people. I said if he didn't read out and laugh at all the donations, odds are the article.
So you're okay with the system and you celebrate it?
No,
that's your thing. No, shut up. Your thing.
I
You
specifically said I'm
celebrate.
not happy to see him go down, but you have to play by the rules to some regard.
You
Otherwise,
have to play by the rules. Well,
Yeah, no, I think
please tell me why we have to play by the rules.
because they're going to kick you off the website. I don't want to play by the rules. I would love for the rules to be gone. But at the end of the day, if you want to exist on a platform, you want to make content, you want to be here, you have to realize what you can and can't do. And laughing at Christchurch shooting jokes wasn't a smart idea.
To what end?
To what end?
Yes.
You have to make sacrifices. If you're censoring your content,
Why?
you shouldn't
Tell
do that.
me why. Tell me why I have to make sacrifices. Tell me why
Because
Ralph.
the YouTube terms of service says what the YouTube terms of service says. If you're okay with being on DLive, if you're okay with being on BitChute, I'm talking from a practical perspective. Like if I want to be on YouTube, I can't go around screaming the N-word at every black person I see. Like, you know what I mean?
You want to be creative? Do you want to be yourself? Do you want your message heard?
I want a platform where I can talk.
That's it. And you can't talk about certain things, and that's
Here's
fine.
the deal.
with me
I
because
don't
that's
share
not your
beliefs that
platform.
would put me in a position where I would have to pick between my beliefs and my platform. I mean, if you do, and that's your prerogative, then you should say whatever you want to in that specific
I have
situation.
posted cocks on YouTube and gotten banned 1,000 times. I'm not the person to talk about prerogative.
No, I'm saying, but like, no, if you, I'm saying, like, theoretically, if we're talking about someone whose beliefs are something that could get them deplatformed and they want to talk about them, I'm not going to say you're an idiot for that.
Diorio? What are your beliefs? Is it sucking the dick of YouTube?
Is this like a Destiny stream? Do you need to hear all my politics laid out?
Is it you fucking getting censored a little bit more every fucking day and more of your fucking friends?
Here's the problem. I cover YouTube drama, okay? For the most part, unless I swing my audience at somebody, I'm not being censored. The kind of content that I find interesting isn't the kind of stuff that I would probably say a lot of the audience finds interesting. So when I'm talking, I'm not being censored. If it came down to it, right? If they implemented a harassment code where it meant you couldn't criticize others, you know what? Yeah, maybe you'd find me in a position where I do continue what I'm doing until they kick me off. Or maybe I do walk. Maybe I do look at alternatives. I'm starting a Storyfire podcast pretty soon. So like, I understand what you're saying, but like, it just doesn't specifically affect me. And I wasn't happy to see Ralph terminated at the time.
It doesn't affect you, but it affects all of us. Every step back you take is a step back we all take.
But what step back did I take?
You supported the fucking censorship of, and by the way,
here's the difference. You're using the word support, and I'm
getting called a gun guard. I'm not a gun guard. I fucking hate Ethan Ralph. Ethan Ralph is one of the worst content creators.
Yeah, let's remove the word Ethan Ralph and just use like the hypothetical of talking about someone who is doing what Ethan Ralph was doing. Okay, yeah, just to make it fair. I think what you're saying is I support them, and I'm telling you I'm being rational about it. Like I don't support Ethan Ralph getting deleted, but I understand from a TOS perspective why he was deleted. Like, do you understand what I'm like? I don't think it's a good thing.
We take like
What?
Okay, let's hold hands. Let's pretend that we're in this together.
Yeah.
Every time we take a step back and we accept that somebody like Ethan Ralph, somebody like fucking Baked Alaska, and God, that one is a fucking mess. I hate that I'm supporting this in this argument. I fucking hate Baked Alaska even worse than Ralph. But every step we take back together, we take back together.
All right.
We can't step forward.
Well, here's
There
the thing.
are enough of us.
What you're talking about is it's a slippery slope, and I actually agree with it. It started with Alex Jones when he was terminated, and everyone said, "Oh my God, it's just Alex Jones." And then suddenly it was Alex Jones, and it was Ethan Ralph, then it was Nick Fuentes, and somewhere down all the way on the line, we got to Leafy. Like, yeah, I understand. Like, it starts out with like this one specific example of something so crazy, and then all of a sudden, Leafy, a guy who makes fucking 10-minute videos, bitching about stocks and talking about Pokemon, got deleted. Dude, I understand what you mean by like take a step back. But what I'm saying also is that you can't specifically go against the TOS and expect not to get banned. And to say that doesn't mean I'm supporting him getting banned. To say that means I'm being realistic. I'm explaining to you like what you can and can't do on the platform to succeed.
Diorio, this isn't so much at you. This is at the people who are listening. Break the TOS until the TOS change. Fucking, you can afford to get banned.
I don't think the TOS is actually. You know what? I don't think the TOS is going to change unless they modify Section 230. I think if they modify Section 230 in such a way that you can't be censored by political beliefs, it would make the platform a fucking billion times better. Guys like Ralph could exist on the platform. Guys like Nick Fuentes could exist on the platform. I don't think it should be repealed, but I think it should be modified.
I really don't like I'm sticking up for people I don't believe in right now. But
you're speaking up for what you believe in, but people who were censored for what you believe in. I get it. Dude.
Yeah. And by the way, Diorio from Twitter, I thought you were a bit of a tard. You're actually kind of making a lot of sense. So, this isn't the blood sports I was promising chat. So the biggest apology I have to give is to chat. I thought I was going to fucking tear into you, my teeth gnashed, tear a fucking chunk out of your throat, but turns out we kind of agree on this.
I'm a bit more rational when I'm not attempting to visibly be a dick on Twitter, but it was nice talking to you. I do got to get back to making a video now, though.
All right. Well, hey, Nick, thanks for coming on in, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, we'll have to talk again soon. We haven't caught up in a while, so
definitely.
Anytime you want to come on, it's always an open line, or just hit me up on DMs and shit. We'll fucking find a way to chat.
Sounds good. Peace out, homies.
Bro. See you later, dude. All right. Thanks a lot for coming in, man. All right. So that was fun. That was good times. Let's get to John. John's been in here for a while.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
You know what, man? It's a first day back to doing the food delivery tonight, so I'm kind of settling back into the fact that I got really fucking lazy when I was working for the census. I drove a lot of places, and I'd get out of my car.
That's a sweet gig.
And I'd walk to a door, and I'd knock on a door, and I'd get back in my car, and I'd leave. I really need to get back to the gym, is what I'm trying to say tonight. I was, because when I do food delivery, it's always third fucking floor deliveries, right? All the goddamn time. It's just like, really? You can't.
So you're humping the stairs, huh?
Oh, I was working the stairs tonight, and I'm just like, woo.
That's what a stairmaster really is.
and then my new gym opens up tomorrow. Actually, it's now the 17th, so that opens up today. I'm like, all right, I can go down to the gym and start getting my cardio on and trying to get back. Well, maybe not get back into shape, but get to a shape that's not entirely fluffy. So anyway.
Well, there's two disasters. I mean, you can talk about the election outcomes. I mean, it's just going to be a S show until December 14th when the electors select the president through voting, because people don't understand that your vote for the president only votes for the electors, and there's so few penalties, and the swing states are owned by the GOP. They could swing the elector votes to 303 for Trump, and that's when Biden. DNC talked about a whole bunch of lawyers coming down, just trying to prevent that from happening. But that's crazy.
Well, here's the thing: if the electors didn't swing for Hillary in 2016, when there was a big push for them to do it, they're not going to do it here.
Yeah,
they're not going to do it here.
Yeah, but this is like the GOP and Trump, So,
well, that's why if and I just want to say if Biden wins, which could happen, may not happen, I don't know. Then in that moment, what we have to deal with is it's going to be a lot of calling from, unless it's a decisive, like we're talking massive electoral like landslide. Yeah. Like we're talking was it Nixon winning in like 74, that massive landslide?
Oh, Reagan won.
It was Reagan
won 40. Reagan won 49 out of 50 states in his second term.
Yeah,
the first one. It was one of those two.
I think it was the first one.
49 out of 50. That was a swamp,
That was a hell of a thing, and that's going to be and if that happens here with Biden, then it's going to be a decisive victory, and there's not going to be much Trump is going to be able to do about it. But at the same time,
greed talks. Greed talks.
You've got a lot of players that have banked their whole career off the last 4 years, good and bad, and they want to make sure that it's going to stay whatever way. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, I just on November 3rd, I will be I will be like an absolute just nervous wreck all night long. I'm just going to be so anxious because I just want this whole thing to be over one way or the other. You know, one way or the other. I just want it to be over. Because even like even the antidepressants I'm on aren't able to fucking match the anxiety that I'm feeling. And it's just because like, I don't know what the future is going to hold. And with COVID and everything else, I'm just like, all right, man, I'm kind of burnt the fuck out, you know? So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
I just hole up and hope for the best and not worry about it, you know, cause there's not much you can do about it really. I mean, it's, you can vote and, but,
well, that's all.
You know,
that's really all you can do. All you
can do is vote. I mean, I got my mail-in ballot like 4 days ago, and I still haven't got around to it. But I'll throw it in the mail tonight. You know.
Yeah, I threw mine in the mail today. I went to the ballot box, threw it in the ballot box. I was like, all right, I'm good. I feel good. You know, you don't get a sticker. You don't get a sticker, right? When you fucking mail in vote, that's the downside to it. All Trump has to say is like, I don't trust mail-in voting because you don't get the sticker. And there will be people that are like, wait a minute, I want a sticker. You know, that's how I tell people that I voted.
Yeah, the mail-in voting, I pulled a site, AP News, and said for 2020, it's the same amount as 12% of the total numbers cast in 2016. That's how many people are early voting to get it in there.
A lot of people are early.
A lot. It's like Florida. They're about 2.3 million, and the total cast in 2016 was 9 million. And you know, California's no big deal. Texas, you know, you got like about
right
2 million, and it's like 8 million total. You know, so the numbers are like going through the roof. People are voting early, so that's a good thing because they can't. There's a record of the vote. You know, the illegal hacking of voting machines can't happen with the mail-in vote. So that's just my two conspiracy bits. You know,
right. Well, right now I'm looking at 538.com, and they put Biden at 52.3%, Trump at 41.8%. So
it's what I don't understand about. I go to 530 a lot myself. It's like, how the heck can he have a 42.8 approval rating? That blows my mind. You know, it's just like for Trump.
Well, the one that I'm really looking at now is Florida for me personally. And because that's the one I feel is going to be like, that's going to be the hinge, right? It's all going to come down to Florida, I think. And 49% to 45.1% Biden with 3.9 point lead. So, you know, you're looking like Florida, anything could happen. You know, that's going to be fascinating, I think.
Yeah. The funny part is Texas, the Republicans are restricting the voting in Texas because if Trump loses Texas and Biden actually gets it, then he has really no chance of winning at all, you know, with the, through the voting, you know, they could still cheat completely, but I wouldn't put it past them. But I guess the other thing, there was conversations about the YouTube and they're censoring things.
Yeah.
People don't realize that the Supreme Court made it legal to lie. And, you know, that's when you deal with a lot of right wingers, you know, they actually lie all the time. Or they believe the lies, you know. There's statistics that show the right and the left differences, you know, misinformation.
I think both parties engage in misinformation 100%. I just, you know, what I fucking hate are when people hide behind some kind of moral authority and then you find out that they've been lying. And I guess maybe like I'm a bit of a hypocrite on that front because of the whole flagging thing. But I think
I don't know about that, but I know that, you know, the using a conspiracy theory to promote actual lies is that's just BS in my book. but that's just veneer, the veneer excuse that people use to go crazy and collect money,
Yeah, well,
So-
there's a key grift out there. I just wish I had the lack of conscience to actually do it in some cases. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always jokingly said that if I was a hot chick, I'd be a fucking millionaire. Like if I had no conscience, even if I had no conscience on YouTube, I could be doing a lot better. I'm not even lying. There's so much. You guys have no fucking idea. Yeah, I could literally say whatever I want, and if I package it in a good enough way and repeat it in a good enough way, and by latching on to other particular outrages that people have, and then building up a narrative based upon that anger, and then funneling that anger to what I would want to talk about.
That's the
you can make
Fox
a lot of
News
money.
model.
And
That's what
to be
Fox
honest
News
with you,
does.
I probably
Pander.
did it. Yeah, I probably did it with Anita Sarkeesian. There's times I criticize her, or maybe I shouldn't have. But then today she came out and she's trying to raise money by claiming that the term "sus," like suspect in Among Us, is actually racist.
That's just crazy.
I'm like, you've got to be like, what the fuck? Just fucking stop. Jesus Christ. Like you can grift money. It's like you come out, it's like, did you guys happen to see that the sun sets in the west? That's fucking ableist for people who can't look fucking right. Like, how are they gonna, people who without eyelids can't fucking close their eyes when they've got the setting sun. That's ableist.
Yeah.
It's like we got to figure out a way to stop the sun from setting. There's got to be a block, build a fucking wall.
Oh, I found out today that that Hunter Biden laptop from that shop person, that they found, quote unquote, found that laptop.
Yeah.
The shop owner was legally blind. He can only see through the microscope.
Oh yeah, no, that whole story is completely sus to me. It's completely.
That's just like a Russian misinformation thing. That's what I believe, but I have no proof.
Well, here's a weird one, real quick. This has been making its way around the web today. Apparently, in the UK, sex has been banned indoors for tier 2 couples living apart. These are tier 2 restrictions are not allowed to have sleepovers unless they are in a support bubble, basically meaning that people who are in a relationship but don't live together can't meet up for hookups. That sleeping with your significant other in a consensual fashion has been outlawed if they don't actively live with you.
I remember the condoms in what Police Academy movie?
Police Academy, yeah.
Someone's gonna make that one day. For real.
Yeah. How to survive COVID and still fuck. The condom. It's just going to be nothing but it's going to be a bodysuit of saran wrap and lube is all it's going to be. It's just, it's ridiculous. It's like, oh my God, invest in, fine. They need to invest in like masturbatory aids then. You know what I mean? Like if you got a social distance, then we just need to put like fucking fleshlights and like vibrators on like pool cues and just make, a rigging of duct tape around it. And then just go, okay, let's, just Dutch rudder this motherfucker and get it working. And like, oh my God, if more people had sex right now, I think we'd have clearer heads. If we didn't leave our homes with loaded guns, metaphorically speaking, and we could, and we could just sit there and be calmer and have, level head, so to speak. People might be able to think a little bit better, but they're so fucking worked up right now. They're not getting any. Because the state of New York is all like licking assholes is a big no big right now. The state of New York, the New York Health Authority came out and said that rim jobs could pass COVID.
Yeah, how are you going to enforce that?
Well, you don't enforce it. The idea is you're not going to sit there and be able to enforce, someone licking somebody else's taint. You're not going to be able to do that.
That's just,
but the whole idea is you're going to be implanting. Well, you're implanting fear into that person's mind. Like, oh, honey, I know how much you love it, when I tongue your butthole, but I can't do it right now because I don't want to catch the Rona. Like,
that's going to be that'll be a good lie to try to pass. Oh, baby, this way it's safer. Trust me.
Yeah, they said this was practicing safe sex back in the day. But then
save their virginity, huh?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
then
geez.
this is why the Groiper army is going to rise. We don't catch COVID from sex because we've never had it. Dun dun dun. Oh my God! This.
Yeah, it's just it's going to be around for a while. It's just probably another 6 months, I guess.
Yeah, I don't. I definitely. I think more people. I think they should open like whorehouses, but like everyone's got to get a test before they go in. You know.
Well, I live in Nevada, so you're never unemployed in Nevada if you really want to be employed.
Yeah, I've actually been walking down the strip and those guys who hand out those hooker trading cards. Like they hand out. Like, there's like you'll see some for $50 hand jobs. And I'm like, $50 hand job. Like, okay, I'm like, so I got that card once, and I looked, and I started breaking down the numbers. I'm like, okay, $50 hand job. So it's probably going to be more than $50 because, whatever. And
it's got like, a whorehouse, a legal whorehouse, they take 50%, right?
Yeah.
I'm so poor, I never gone there, but you can Google them and oh yeah, I can do that one, but it's 50%. So a hand job, this guy's making $25 if it's for 50,
I'm pretty certain that's just like the entry fee to get her there. She's like, $50 gets me there. Another $50, I touch the winger, and then whatever. But it's like, it's like, but then let's say you go to a strip club, you go, okay, fine. You got to pay the entry fee to get in. And then there's usually like a couple drink minimum. And then there's like the lap dances. So you could spend a lot of money at a strip club when you could just probably pay the prostitute for the same amount of money and just get right to the fucking point. All I'm saying is it's a lucrative business model. It's the oldest profession in the book. It should be legalized. All right. Like hashtag legalize it. That's my whole point.
Oh, I agree. It's just, it's like, like legalizing pot, that should be done a long time ago, but
yeah, well,
there's too much grift. There's too much grift in the jail system and, keeping people from voting. So
do we know what Biden's stance is on legalizing weed?
He said he would decriminalize it.
Okay. Well, it's basically decriminalized in many places.
Oh, it should be. It's when I had my disability money, I was $5,000 short from affording a grower and selling license in Nevada. It was like, if you had $35,000, you could buy the license to grow pot, and that included the license for a store to sell pot. And nice. I'm still, once one of my inventions hits, that's the second business I get going into. Eventually you got to pay off a bunch of people, but that's too much money to be made there. Too much easy money. I would like to. I would actually like to. To get into the whole pot game at some point. Like back in 2016, when I was actually making good money on YouTube, I was like, if I continue this, if nothing bad happens in 2017, right, nothing at all, and I'm still making this kind of money, I'm like, I want to invest in legal weed, like either in a pot shop or invest in stocks or whatever, because there's some serious good fucking money in that shit. Oh yeah, it's just. You can't put it in a bank, so it's just. But you can launder it through the casinos gambling. Just take it out of casinos gambling as cash. There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to
launder that money, launder that green.
Gotta get that mama.
But I'm not promoting that. I'm saying it could be done.
Yeah, sure. I get you, man. I get you. Well, all right, John, I'm gonna let you go, man. I'm gonna let you go. I got a couple more people to get to, and we'll talk again soon. Okay, man.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Have a good night, John. All right, John, everybody, frequent caller, good dude. Okay, we got ourselves Akuma Soka Films. We've been here for a while.
Hi there, Matt. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. You can probably tell from my accent I'm coming from the UK, so it's about 8:00 in the morning here. So
wow, that's fucking early, dude. I'm never awake. Well, no, actually, I'm awake at 8 every day. I just hate it.
Yeah. But well done on the Uber Eats stuff. So I kind of do that myself, but on the bike, so I can relate to delivering food and everything. So
yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. People like to give me shit for it. I'm just like, yeah, I make over 20 an hour. So
but the main things that you're providing for your family, I don't know why everyone's giving you grief over it.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I would love it if I was still pulling in 100 a day on YouTube, that'd be great.
Yeah,
I could then not have to do that, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah,
That's okay. And that's okay. It's okay.
And there's responsibility. It's like anything in life, though. If you are down on your trotters, you had a nice little cushy blue collar job, or working in the city or something in an office, and you lose your job and you got a family, you still got to work. I respect a man that does that.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. I think what it is they look at it and they just go they look at it as a step downward. And maybe it is, whatever. I don't really care. The way I look at it is like, you know what? Yeah, provide for my family. My kids have a roof over their head. They eat, and that's fine.
And that's the mark of a man. Our grandparents and our great grandparents did the same thing. What happened during the Depression? I'm sure they would have done. They had cushy jobs and Depression hit, and they had to do mediocre jobs.
Could you imagine if YouTube was around during the Great Depression? How bad would that have been? How absolutely terrible would that have been?
Yeah, I haven't thought about that actually.
It would just be nothing but people going, it would be IRL streams of the bread line.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
look at you, poor F slurs out here trying to get your bread, and you've got someone TTS is like $1 because that's the cheapest they could make it for it's just nothing but cursing somebody. It'd be the worst thing on the planet.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so my main reason for calling was about, I don't know, I saw your little chat with Southern Dingo yesterday. Man, what's wrong with this dude?
That's the thing I don't get about Dingo. I really don't get about Dingo on that front is he's totally cool with coming here and spewing white nat bullshit.
Yeah.
And everything. And he's polite about it. So I have that inherent thing.
Though. I think it's more of a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm black myself. And obviously some of the stuff he was saying yesterday that, people from Sub-Saharan Africa have 18% Neanderthal DNA. They're not really human. I'm not saying not human, but they're not really human. That means we can, we can't really. It's like, man, this guy is dangerous. No, I get the point. If Black Lives Matter had all the power, what they could do to him, I understand that from a black perspective. But if he had the power, what would he do to me?
Well, according to him, he wouldn't. I think.
No, I don't believe that.
I think deep down it's kind of like when you start looking at it from the concept of escalation.
Yeah.
Right. So the way I view it is you look at the alt-right and you go, okay, what is their base goal? What is it that they want? They want Richard Spencer specifically. He wants an ethno state.
Yeah.
Okay. What exactly is an ethno state to them, at least? Right. So then it's like, they'll try to describe it, but I'm like, look, none of you really want an ethno state, right? You all want it fucking handed to you. But if you really want to see an ethno state in the United States, and this is just merely an example, I just want to say this is merely an example of something. There's a place called Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn, Michigan has the highest population of Muslims in the country. Because what happened was they moved from the Middle East to Michigan, which is a fucking hellhole in many places. And they basically took over this town. And that is their home. That is that's their culture. I've heard rumors of Sharia law there and shit like that, which I don't know how true it is. But again, you don't know what it is and isn't true on the internet.
Yeah.
And I've heard things about it, but it's true that it's the largest population of Muslims in one area in the United States. And so I'm like, okay, fine. So if these alt-righters, these white nationalists, supremacists, if they want their own space, right, they have to follow that idea. Or fucking the Mormons, dude. The Mormons were thrown out of almost every place imaginable in the United States. Nobody wanted Mormons. Nobody wanted them. So you know where they went? They went to the desert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
They went to Utah, right? They went to the shittiest place they could find. And then they built a city there where nobody would fuck with them. And they ended up taking over an entire state. And then even since then, they've been migrating their way into Mexico, and they've converted over 1 million Mexicans to Mormonism.
Wow.
Yeah. It's when you look at they're expanding. It's south of the border.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating stuff. They have compounds down there. They have compounds.
Yeah. Wow.
It's crazy shit.
I did not know that as well. I didn't like the fact that because you've got some Jewish ancestry in you, the way he just talked to you with disgust. I don't really hate ya, but I do hate ya. That's what I remember it yesterday. I was listening to your live stream yesterday. I was like, what's wrong with this dude? Your obsession with Jewishness is just I can't get it sometimes. You blame black people for blaming you white people for our problems, but you blame Jews for everything.
No, someone says here, Jarbo advocating for ethnic theme parks. I'm not, but I when problems arise or for certain people, I try to think about like how they would go about it, I guess, as a way just to because that's where my brain just starts to kind of problem solve, good or bad, I guess. But I don't agree with it either way. I think integration is perfectly fine and everything else, like tonight, for example, I went to pick up some food from this restaurant that had a taco truck built into the restaurant.
Wow.
Literally a taco truck, like a truck. And that was where they cooked the food. It was in the middle of the restaurant.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like it. I'm all like, this is cool. I want to come back here and have food because this is dope, But it's like, so the way that Dingo was, like I have on my father's side, I have some Jewish blood on my father's side from a long time ago. My family's name was Reichman.
Okay.
And we left Germany and changed our names to Richmond, apparently. Some my aunt had told me.
Okay.
And then we traveled from England over to Canada, made our way through Canada down to the States. My mom's family's from Canada, so I'm like first generation Canadian American.
Okay.
And that's the joke I like to say. But hey, if Trump gets another term, I can actually apply for dual citizenship and nope the fuck out of here. So there we go. Thought about that.
Yeah. It's true, but I just find it that's really with people like that, it just becomes a little bit. I'm surprised that you have him on, and stuff. I just think he's quite dangerous.
Well. That the thing with that is it's not that like I have so it's like I don't want to silence anybody. To be fair, I know that sounds weird. If he was in here and he was dropping like N-word this, F slur that, all those kind of things, 100%. Because I'm like, I don't want to get my own channel banned. And it's such a weird thing because the problem with Dingo, and this is where you got someone like him who's sneaky, is he's charming.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
He's charming
with that southern accent.
Yeah, he's very charming and he's eloquent. And that is what you got to watch out for. That's always like, one of those things. People are good at talking. So he's good at talking and he talks about something else with me, right? Which then lowers my defenses. And I can see this happening. He lowers my defenses. And then from there, we get into the situation where then he'll start trying to move the conversation back around. And then I have to try to be like, I'm like, okay, I see what he's doing. And I got to think of a count.
He softens you up. So
yeah. And so it's like, and then I'm like, and I feel like he's not saying anything like inherently terrible. But then I clearly disavow it.
The implication is there. Yeah.
The implication's absolutely there.
I'm not saying that Southern Africans are not human, but they have 18% Nathaniel DNA, so they're not really that human anyway. Double speak.
That was some stupid fucking bullshit, man. That's like, because I hate that fucking argument from those people, right? I hate that argument where it's like, oh, if you're from Africa, you're just inherently dumb or whatever. It's like, come on, like there's so much about that's fucking terrible, and we clearly know that that's not the case. But it just becomes this talking point, and it, but someone like Dingo has called me. Like he has my cell phone number that he got from Ethan Ralph, or I think an Andy Worski or whatever, and he'll call me occasionally. And he called me last month, and he was upset with me because I criticized Kyle Rittenhouse for how he acted in Kenosha by killing those two guys. And at the end of the conversation, he called me, like, I'm driving, I'm out and whatever, doing my job. And he calls, and he I forget exactly what he said, but he calls me an effing N-word and then hangs up the phone. So, but what I didn't know at the time was that he was recording me.
Oh.
And then he gave that to Ethan Ralph and they played it on the kill stream and shit, So like he calls me to chat and he's recording me when he calls me. Like, I know that now.
Yeah.
So he'll call in to chat and all that kind of stuff. And then he'll berate me for like, cause I don't follow his particular fucking, like, I don't know, life plan. Like, I don't know you, dude. You know, I make it abundantly clear, like, I'll be polite if you're polite. Like, that's how I roll.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm also not going to sit here and just give in to these beliefs. And I could kind of see how I might have been letting that get away from me. And that's my own fault. Cause if someone's being nice, I'll be nice back. And it just,
it's human nature. It's human nature.
Yeah.
It's like the wolf in sheep's clothing effect. So if someone's being nice to you and up front, you're not going to, be a dick about it. So.
Yeah. Well, a cat here asks, isn't it supposed to be the other way around, that Dingo gave the number to Ralph? No, obviously not. Because Dingo said, he told me, I think even on this stream, he told me that he had gotten it from got my cell phone number from some deep web situation. And I'm like, that's bullshit, because I changed my number 2 years ago and I barely gave it to anybody. And it's not, and I associate a lot of my stuff with my business number, which is not my cell phone number. And so it's, it is what it is. But anyway, man, hey, thank you. I got one more guy to get to tonight. I'm trying to wrap it up around 2 hours.
You take care, Matt.
Okay, yeah, you too. Thank you so much for calling in and calling again, man.
Thank you.
And be safe out there on the bike, all right?
I will do. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, brother. All right. Thank you very much. That was pretty good. All right. Finally, tonight, we're going to wrap it up here with Shidoko. I know you've been waiting a while.
Oh, hey there. You can hear me. Okay, I just want to make sure because I'm using headphones right now. Yeah, I heard you actually finished the census, ended, and now you're back to food delivery. So I just want to ask, like, how is that? How are you?
Oh, I'm good, man. I kind of miss the census stuff, to be honest with you. So I
wanted to sign up for it. It looks like it paid really good.
The money was good. The money was good. Yeah, I was able to put enough away to pay my mortgage for a couple months, and then I had to put like $3,000 in my car. That's why I'm back to work so quick. I had to go put a lot of money in my car to fix it. So I'm like, damn it! All like the reserve I had is all gone, and that's okay. That's life. You can't get too pissed off at that.
Hey, the mortgage, that's a pretty big one. So
well, yeah, we're coming into winter, and it's it's gonna start getting colder and stuff. And I'm happy because I can finally start wearing sweatpants again. Well, they're comfortable. I bought like these nice ones a couple of years ago, and they're super comfy. And I'm like, all right, cool. Get colder, baby. It's gonna be like sweatshirts and comfy socks and sweatpants and. You know what? Like I'm a dad now. I can pull that off.
I see. I like the cold. It's just at least for me, sweatpants. I can't really do them at least nowadays.
Yeah, well, they're not like these are like the decent kind. These are like more of your. I don't want to say like your upper scale sweatpants. They're Fila's, so they're nice. They're Fila's. They're pretty decent. Got them at Costco, so they look pretty good. It's not like the kind that just like it's not like the leggings on men. It just looks like it rides up your ass, and then you walk out, and it just looks like you just don't care. That's the thing I don't get. And maybe it's just because I don't understand women's fashion, but I know leggings are comfortable and they're quick and they're easy, but I just what I don't think they belong on everybody. And what I mean by that predominantly, because that sounds bad, is what I mean by that is every situation. Like. I understand if you're at home and you're working in the yard or you're doing yoga, or you're working out. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Like if you're going to go to Taco Bell, go through the drive-thru and never get it makes sense. But like if you're going to go shopping at the mall on a Saturday afternoon, maybe it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like I mean, I don't like these pants, like these sweatpants are comfortable, man. And I will wear them to the store if it's like 10 p.m. at night. And I just want to run in, get what I need, and get the fuck out. And that's what I need. That's what I'm going to do. That's the thing. But it's like, but if I got to go to Costco and it's like 2 p.m. and I got to go do fucking shopping, I'm going to put on fucking jeans or a pair of shorts.
Yeah, I'm the same in that sense.
Or something.
I really don't care. But yeah.
Maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just a little bit old fucking fashioned on that one. Billy here says upper class sweatpants buys them at Costco. Costco's got good clothing, dude.
Costco is pretty good. I go to Costco. It's nice deals. Yeah, but I guess the main thing I want to talk about, and this is pretty random, I will admit. Are you familiar with VTubers?
Yeah, we were talking about them last night, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I have no issue with VTubers.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it right now, I just have the icon for like the Boulder Uniboulder, and then a little audio, wave flicker, right?
Yeah.
And so there's that. Like I have that, and then if I was a VTuber, you could see me moving around a bit. But
Mhm.
other than that, it's like, does it really fucking matter? I don't understand. I don't get. I get the ease of it. I get what people do it, but I mean the attraction to it is weird. Like, But then again, when I used to do the moving skull for Mundane Matt, when I did the
Oh,
animated
I
skull,
actually remember that.
people
Yeah.
really, really, really liked it.
Yeah, I liked it.
They were like, "Oh man, that's fucking awesome! Like, fucking, that's so cool!" And I'm all like, "Yeah, but you know how long the rendering time was?
Oh.
It was a lot. And when you do 3 videos a day, it was a lot of rendering, a lot of rendering. And then I still have to go edit the video that I wanted to do. Like I'd have to edit, I'd have to record the audio, import the audio into the animation program, which is called, I think, Crazy Talk 7. Render and export the video footage, import that file into my editor, create the together around that audio, that animation file, and then export it and then upload it. Took
Well,
fucking forever.
Wow.
People liked it, but it took fucking forever. So
It
then I'm
sounds
just like,
tedious.
well, I might as well, I could just talk and just have it kind of do its little wave thing and it'll be fine. So
Damn. Yeah, I guess to that regard, I guess the attraction to it, I literally yesterday I got my first, I guess, experience with a VTuber, that being Amelia Watson, I guess. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Long story short, I seen one of her videos where she's, I guess, going on a date with you, and then like she's eating food, or I don't know, but I found it a little funny. I get the appeal of it, it's kind of cute, something a little entertaining, but there's a lot of people doing memberships, which no problem with that, but I'm still kind of getting the feel of that audience and that type of community, I guess, here on YouTube. I'm a little just trying to ease into it, if that makes sense.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm not that lonely of a person to where like I would need to go on a date with a VTuber. But I am that lonely of a person to where I do a call-in show because I just want to talk to people.
Yeah.
So there's that. That's what it is. As for Stretch being banned for 5 minutes, that was me. So,
Oh,
I don't, not a big fan of the N-word in here, guys. I'm just saying.
I see. No,
So
I just
I
saw
did
the
it for, I just booted him out for 5 minutes. So just keep that shit on. Look, that shit can come back to bite me in the ass. So keep that shit to a fucking minimum.
We got more incoming.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I just want to talk about that since I know that's a trend, at least as of recently. So I was like, I get Matt's thoughts on that because YouTube trends seem to be your thing, and well,
yeah,
but yeah, that's all I really had to say. Just pretty relaxed today. Actually, surprisingly calm. It's just an easy day, at least compared to what rest of 2020 has brought us.
Oh, 2020's been shit. It's been fucking terrible.
Actually, I just a random little note. Earlier, you mentioned that you did not get a sticker for voting. I actually submitted my voting thing in the mail earlier this week. I actually did get a sticker. So
well, Washington dropped the ball on that. Those motherfuckers. So, I really wanted to vote. I really wanted to get that thing. Let's see here.
Sticker's always nice.
Yeah, because it shows you fucking did something. It shows you did something, and that you get that visual representation that you voted, and then everyone's really, really, really happy on that one. But let's see.
You are a functional member of society.
Well, I'm a member of society. Functional isn't necessarily where everything is. So, all right, man, I'm going to let you go because I want to keep this thing at 2 hours, and we're just at that limit right now.
Yeah, I just noticed it's 1 a.m. now. Wow. Yeah. Okay, we both need probably sleep now, so.
I gotta fuck off too. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on in, man.
Yeah,
and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much, Shidoko. All right, everyone. So it's been a fun 2 hours. Lots going on. I had a little bit of organic internet blood sports, some interesting conversations to say the least. And I appreciate everybody tuning in and everyone listening. And I understand that it's a Friday, but I don't know. I'm gonna wrap this thing up anyway. I'll talk to you guys on Monday night. I'll be back with another episode. Sunday or Monday, depending. I have shit to record this weekend, so probably maybe Sunday, definitely Monday. And have yourself a good weekend, everybody. And peace the absolute fuck out.